Another important issue, a lot of us are on the roads, a lot of us have cars. What happens if you're pulled over by an officer who wants to search your car?
Tell them no. It's as simple as that. You don't have to allow any officer to search anywhere that is your place. While there is a lower threshold when it comes to cars versus homes, it's still your car. You're still in your car. You don't have to let them search without a warrant. If they have enough, they can go get a warrant. They can get a judge to sign the warrant, and at that point they can go ahead and search your vehicle.
I think a lot of people just assume they have to say yes, but they don't.
That's what the police want you to believe. They'll tell you things like, oh, you know what? Well, I guess if we have to get a warrant, we're going to have to impound your car. And if we impound your car, we're going to have your car forever. And, you know, that kind of implication that makes it very inconvenient to say, no, you can't search. The fact is, they don't have a right to search. And yes, they can impound the car if they have reason to impound the car. But please know that there are officers who will ask to search just because they know they can ask, in the hopes of finding something once they get in there. They don't have enough probably to hold the car for an extended period of time.
Okay, David, so what are the implications then if you take the fifth?
You have a constitutional right to remain silent. I tell people, exercise your right to remain silent. And, well, you know, a comedian once says, I knew I had the right to remain silent, I just didn't have the ability to do so. It's always best to be quiet. And it can never be used against you. If you're in trial, a prosecutor's never, if they know that you remain silent at the scene, they are never permitted to ask the police officer, hey, did you read him his Miranda or did you talk to him? Oh yeah, and he refused to talk to me. That is completely prohibited. That Fifth Amendment privilege you'll know more about if you're in trial, because they will tell a defendant and they'll advise juries that if somebody doesn't testify, it can never be held against them. They are never to consider that. So yes, not only should you remain silent, you need to know that there is usually, especially here on Maui, no recording devices that are being used when you're making your statements. So your statement is left to a police officer writing down from his notes, his memory of what you've told him, and you are unable to look at those notes and say, that's not what I said, that's not what I said, that's not what I said, before he puts it in a police report. So, you know, I'm not saying don't give them your name, but if they're asking, you know, how much, if they're asking anything about a case or why you're being investigated, just tell them you don't want to speak and ask for a lawyer.
So what is probable cause, and is there a way to dispute that? Well,
probable cause is a legal standard. It's defined by case law. It says where the facts and circumstances within the officer's knowledge and of which they had reasonably trustworthy information are sufficient in themselves to warrant a man of reasonable caution and belief that an offense has been committed or is being committed. That's probable cause. So they need probable cause for the arrest. They don't need probable cause to pull you over. They only need reasonable suspicion, which is a much lower standard. Okay? It's a much lower standard. So they don't even need a crime to pull you over. So for instance, if you're driving at night and you're weaving in your lane, and you haven't broken the speed limit, but you continually weave within your lane, and they, based on their training, they can say, well, we believe that they might be under the influence. So they're allowed to pull you over and talk to you to determine if you are under the influence. Probable cause is necessary to arrest. Probable cause is necessary to get a warrant. And yes, it can be challenged. It just can't be challenged on the street. It gets challenged in the courtroom where we file motions, which are requests to the court to throw evidence out because we believe that there was no probable cause for the arrest or for the search.
Great. Okay, good information. Thank you.